Before this video starts, to anyone who wants to join up this autumn's edition of the Last Man Standing competition starting next weekend, please DM me on Twitter at @the_Staminator. It would be great to have you involved. Don't worry about any cost or anything, it's free. So get involved if you want to, and let's get into the video.
B Hunter fights the far side and takes the lead. Bermudez coming late. Bermudez clawing. Got up. Bermudez.
And I think currently at $7, it's over the odds. So I'm having 0.5 units the win on Power Ballard.
But it's all too late. Power Ballard, there's nothing wrong with the fence. Look at her go. She's going to bolt in. Won it well from Stephanie Magnetica.
Hello everyone and welcome to another Saturday preview. This Saturday racing against Moonee Valley for a packed 10 race card there. The feature being the Group 2 Australia Stakes over the 1200 metres at weight for age level. My tips for that race will be coming up a bit later in the video, but as like last week and also the Australia Day preview, we're just going to be quickly talking about all the races on the card, what my ratings had to say about them, try and find the winner and hopefully maintain the profit streak heading into next week. This week I've got plays in 6 out of the 10 races, so we'll look forward to that. But we'll start with race number 1 on the card, 3-year-old benchmark 70 over the 1500 metres. Now this race I don't have a play in. The favourite is Acid Wash at 2.15. Didn't rank too highly last start, but that's because it dawdled in front at Cranbourne and wasn't tested in the straight at all, despite it winning by 6 lengths. So I don't really know how to read the rating of that race. Before that it was a decent rating down the Flemington straight. Also right in the market is a horse called Sox Nation, who is coming off a bit of a freshen up, I'm pretty sure. 6-week freshen up off a Caulfield run. Draws better than Acid Wash. I think we'll get a better spot than it because it's drawn 1 inside, but we'll have to see how the race pans out in the first couple of 100 metres. I think this horse will be running very well. Just wonder if the 6-week freshen up is a recipe for success or whether it'll need a run. Cognac in Mind gets Damien Lane on the market's respected it, but its maiden win didn't rate too highly on my thing. I actually thought the other Danny O'Brien, Ala Moana, number 8, probably represents more value than the other Danny O'Brien, Cognac in Mind. So this race I'm staying out. I don't really know. My on-top selection in the race would probably be Sox Nation, despite the very exciting Acid Wash. Just trusting my ratings. Race 2 is a benchmark 70 over the 1600 metres. I am playing in this race. I'm having 2 units the win on number 4, CR7. I reckon this horse looks extremely hard to beat. Jayla Kennedy rides. She takes the 3 kilos off. I don't see that to be any query. I just see it as 3 kilos off, to be honest. I think Jayla Kennedy can win on this horse. The only query with this horse on the weekend is how far back it'll get from gate 9 around Moonee Valley. But apart from that, it was storming home against the pattern last start at Geelong behind LOU and Zoo Sensation, also in an on-pace dominated race. Last preparation, it had some good form. I reckon it's a class above this lot. It's just a matter of whether it gets the right run on Saturday. If it does, it'll be winning, and I'm having 2 units to win on CR7. Race 3 is a Fillies and Mares benchmark 70 over the 1600 metres. I will say this now. We part own number 2 Crimson Light in this race. How she will go, everyone thinks she needs wet ground. I personally think she's better on wet ground, but she can also run a good race on firm tracks. Don't think that's totally against her. She's first up, conceding race fitness to a few improving horses. She's better over further. She's got the big weight. She'll get back to last. I'd struggle to see it winning, so not for me, Crimson Light on the weekend. But I hate to say it, my best of the day comes up in this race. I did the form, I went through every horse. My ratings said this horse is an absolute standout, it'll just win. It's right down the bottom, Waterhouse Bot, number 9, Very Surreal. If this horse finds the front and the fence without having to do too much work, I honestly expected to kick away and win by 3. I think it's a class above this lot. Finished just behind Otago and Valois last start at Flemington. Prior to that, had some good form up in Sydney. John McNeil on a Waterhouse Bot front runner is a recipe for success. And in a race where there doesn't look to be too many sole leaders, it should get the lead and it should be extremely hard to beat. In the ideal world, Crimson Light flies over the top and blouses them all, but I don't think that'll happen. 2.5 units to win. I'm very surreal. Race 4 is a benchmark 84 over the 1600 metres, and I've got 2 units to win here on number 2, Running By. Now, this horse is the short price favourite, but I reckon it should get the job done. Drawing gate 1, a few people might say to get stuck on the fence. I see it to be one of the most ideal barriers of the race because it can just get to an on-speed position without having to do any work at all. Just needs luck in the straight, but I think Johnny Allen can manage that. Comes back from a trip to Sydney where it won at Randwick in a benchmark 78 over 1500, so is slowly working up to the 1600 metres. Before that was a good winner at Caulfield. Yeah, I reckon it'll get a good spot in run and in a race where a lot of the horses that are tighter in the market towards Running By have been running against each other, and Running By sort of brings a different form. I'm happy to be with it. 2 units to win. Race 5 is a fillies and mares benchmark 70 over the 1200 metres, and I'm not too confident on this race, but I am playing. It's a bit of a roughie and it might surprise a few people, but I'm having 0.25 units to win. Sorry, 0.25 units each way on number 3, Duped by Spin. Now, this horse has won 3 from 9 in its career, so it's still got a little bit of potential. Usually when Craig Widdowson brings his horses south from Wodonga, or wherever Wodonga is, they usually run really well. And this horse was a winner of a benchmark 58 at Wagga last start, and I know you might think, wow, that's no good. But before that, it ran last preparation in a couple of races down here in Melbourne. It ran 3 lengths, finishing 4th behind the Prodigal Son in the same class and distance, but that was open, so it wasn't just fillies and mares. And then went to Caulfield. It was a bit of an end of prep run over 1400 behind First Mate. But I think this horse, drawn gate 6, can stalk the speed in a race where most of the key chances are first up and in need of the run, especially the Mar Eustace horse called Extra 2. I'm not saying Extra 2 can't win, but I'm just saying that Duped by Spin, I think, is better suited in terms of that it's had a run under the belt. Should be stalking the hot speed off the 1200 metre start. Drawn gate 6, midfield, peel out, see what it's got. Race 6 is the Travis Harrison Cup, a benchmark 100 over the 2040 metres. I am playing in this race. I'm going to have 1 unit to win on number 5, Wycliffe. Now, I reckon the fact that this horse brings different form to everything else stands out already. 2 starts ago, it finished about a half a length off Baby Rider in the ATC Cup up at Randwick. It then went to the Summer Cup at Group 3 level and just couldn't get into the race from the back. Had some decent form in Victoria before it went up to Sydney. The main thing that lures me in here is the 50 kilos that it carries over the distance for Tatum Bull. Drawn gate 5 will get a good run. There's another horse in the race called Mankind, trained by the same trainer, Mar Eustace, that is the favourite and the popular way, but it has to carry 10 kilos more than its stablemate. I'm banking on the other Mar Eustace horse getting it done here, though. Wycliffe, I think, as I've already said, will get a good run with the light weight and brings a different form, which I think can be key to a win. Race 7 is a benchmark 70 over the 2040 metres, the last race that I'm playing in, and I cannot believe the price of number 1 Blue Cup. It's currently $20. I'm having 0.25 units each way on it. It's only won 3 from 33, so I know you might say, whoa, Samano, that's a bad tip. But let me tell you this. So 2 starts ago, it ran behind Miss Tarzi at the Valley, finishing only 2 lengths behind that horse. It gets a 2 kilo weight swing on Miss Tarzi off that run. Miss Tarzi's $4, Blue Cup's $20. Wrong price already. Also, Blue Cup draws for a better run than Miss Tarzi last start, which puts them about even, maybe Miss Tarzi slightly shorter. So Blue Cup at 20 is already overs. It's come into that race and ran 3rd behind Star Vega at Sandown. Ridden upside down from the back. Star Vega has since come out and won again yesterday at Sandown, so has Frank the Form. Blake McDougall will settle in an on-speed position on this horse, and even if it sneaks into the top 3, it's still pretty good for an each-way play because I think Blue Cup is way over the odds. We'll quickly talk about the other races. Race number 8 is a benchmark 78 over the 1,000 metres, and this race was pretty hard to dissect, to be honest. Number 1 Philosopher is tight in the market. It's won 3 from 3 since being gelded. Is a pocket rocket around Moonee Valley. Looks to get its own way in the lead which I think will be beneficial. 61 kilos is a bit, but Damian Lane rides, which is key, and he's got to be right up there in terms of chances. The other one that's rated really highly is Mornington Glory, the favourite. Draws 5, will be stalking the hot speed set by Philosopher. It'll have the last crack late, and horses on the week back up so far this summer have done pretty well. So Mornington Glory's got to be right up there. Another one, I think it's the main 3 in the market. The other one that was rated highly as well is Flying on a Limb, number 7, but that was from its runs like 3rd, 4th up. Its first up run last up where it won was just moderate compared to Philosopher and Mornington Glory, so I'd have Philosopher and Mornington Glory ahead of Flying on a Limb, and especially with Flying on a Limb being around Moonee Valley, 1,000 metres, drawn gate 7 to get back first up. It'll be hard to win in my opinion. Haven't made my decision of my on-top selection yet, but it's definitely, I think, out of Philosopher and Mornington Glory. Race number 9 on the card is the feature. It's the Group 2 Australia Stakes over the 1200 at weight for age level. And my on-top selection in this race is most likely going to be number 8, V8. He's one of 4 3-year-olds in the race, depending on whether the other 3 3-year-olds, except for Australia Day or run at Moonee Valley. I think V8, he just looks like a bit of a bomb first up. He's 2 from 2 first up. He's been impressive in both runs first up in his career. Draws gate 5 for a good run on speed for Damian Lane. There's been no trial or jump out to note, which is interesting, but I won't let that deter me. I think recommendation was a bit short in the market in my opinion. Looks to have its work cut out from gate number 10, and apart from that, I just think V8 looks the most exciting horse in the race. Race 9 to finish the day is a benchmark 78 over the 1200 metres, and this race was, in my opinion, the toughest race on the day. There's about 4 or 5 that I could name that are good chances, but that won't help you out, will it? So Paray is the short price favourite at about 230 at the moment with Damian Lane. Its ratings have just been probably average compared to everyone else, so I would say it's a bit short in the market. It's also drawn gate 10, so we'll get back. I know the rail's in the true, but you don't want to be back at Moonee Valley, especially when you're a short price favourite and you want to take the price about it. So squad looks to get a good run on speed. Its ratings have been pretty good. Zoo Sensation the same, but there's a horse that I had in my staking plan for Caulfield that might run at Moonee Valley in this race called Jenny Jerome. I think it is over the odds in this race at the Valley at $10. So either race it goes to, I'm happy with, because it'd probably be my on-top selection in both of them. Shove Over and Belciel can run well at prices, and I think Mar Marrigan can turn the tables on Zoo Sensation in terms of finishing positions. So really, I have no clue in the last race. Now to recap my staking plan for the Valley. 2 units to win on race 2, number 4, CR7. 2.5 units to win on race 3, number 9, Very Surreal. 2 units to win on race 4, number 2, Running By. 0.25 units each way on race 5, number 3, Dupe by Spin. Race 6, number 5, Wycliffe, 1 unit the win, and 0.25 units each way on race 7, number 1, Blue Cup. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope I've steered you into a winner, and I'll see you to do it all again next week.